Hello, my name is Mordred Viking and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Mad Games Tycoon. So last week we did start playing some Game Developer Tycoon, our Game Dev Tycoon, and it was a big hit actually. A lot of people seemed to enjoy it and I certainly did. And during that stream someone suggested, hey, you should check out Mad Games Tycoon, which is a very similar concept but it goes a lot deeper. So I took a look at it and I got it, and that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to name our player Mordred. I did play one very brief test run last night just to get an idea of what the game was all about and what the controls and stuff were. And oh man, I am glad that I did, because I managed to achieve something which I did not think I would ever do. I released a game which was rated at 1%. So it does go from 1 to 100, and I managed to get a game rated at 1%. It was that bad. It was really terrible. Anyway, still got my sunglasses in my pocket, which is weird because it's pouring with rain outside, but never mind. Ever the optimist. So the first thing the next thing that we need to do is choose our logo, and there are quite a few interesting game developers in this. We've got Acclaim, Accolade, Activision, Qatari, Pandai, Capcom, EA, not really changed there, NX, Kremlins, Hasbros, Infcoms, iGrams, Kemco, Koei, Sonani, Mikio Pros, Minisoft, Namco, that's all very different. That's Namco Bandai, isn't it? Nintendo, Blue Ocean, Oregon, Pignosis, Arcor. And in fact, let's see if we can work what some of these are. Capcom, EA, Engines, don't know that one. Kremlins, don't know that one. Warner Bros? Hasbros? Not sure. Infocom. iGames? iGrams? That does ring a bell. Semco. That one rings a bell too. Sony, Konami, Microprose, Microsoft, Namco, Nintendo, Blue Byte? Maybe? Origin. Don't know what that one is. Raw. Not sure, because that's Rockstar. Sega, Sierra. That's Sony. Taito, not sure. Ubisoft, 3D Realms, I guess just 4D Realms. Quantum something or other. Remedy. Rockstar, Zyrtec. That's actually a antihistamine Zyrtec. It's a anti-hay fever thing. Techsoft. I feel like I should recognise that one. Troika, Westwood, EMP Bros, not sure. Blue Byte, Black Isle, Blizzard, Bullfrog, Bungie, Triple Fine, just spelt weird, Epic, ID, Lionhead, Looking Glass, Naughty Dog. Kremlins might be a reference to Kremlin Games and indie dev that makes political simulators. Oh, possibly. Now, one thing which I'm very disappointed to see is there is no Paradox. There's no Paradox alike. So, they should totally get a Paradox. Although this game is now 2 years old, I think. Our logic. Don't know. And then we just have a bunch of random symbols. So I was somewhat tempted to take the logo of Black Isle, because I do Red Isle, because I do like RPGs. We could also do Northwood, make the RTSs, Blizzard, because Blizzard's just super solid. Microprose, I really liked Microprose games. They did fantastic strategy games back in the day. Colonization, Sim Tower, Sim City, etc. That was all Microprose. If that is Blue Byte instead of Blue Ocean, that would be things like The Settlers, Patrician, things like that. Bullfrog was Theme Hospital, Dungeon Keeper, Westwood. Hey, Dana. Yeah, Tiger Head instead of Lion Head, which is the new version of Bullfrog. So Peter Molyneux founded Bullfrog and then sold it, and then founded Lionhead, sold it, and then formed 10 Cans, which hasn't done nearly as well. Or we could just go for the Swedish crowns, because I do like the Swedish crowns. Or the world, because, you know, it's the thing we're about to own. I also like the lightning bolt. I mean, usually I'll take the lightning bolt. We're going to take the lightning bolt. And then we can choose which country we want to be based in. So every country has their own, like, sales demographics. So if you're in the USA, you get a sales bonus on first-person shooters. If you're in the UK, on sports games. Germany, economic simulators. France, strategy. Italy, adventure. Spain, RTSs. Which actually makes sense, because the top Age of Empires player is from Spain. Viper. Simulation is Russia. RPGs. Oh no, fighting is from Japan. Where's RPGs? Oh, China's RPGs. Oh. So my best performing game in my test run I released in Japan. And actually did super well. But okay, so China's the RPG. Canada's building games. Sweden are puzzle. Korea is arcade. Poland are third person shooters. And then Brazil are the platformers. Well, yesterday I went Germany just because they do the economic sims, and I actually really like the German games industry, probably more than I like the UK games industry, so we're going to go Germany. We are male, and then game settings. I have no idea what any of this stuff means, so I'm just going to leave it as default. Yeah, we'll stick with Germany. Mordred from Mordcorp in Germany. And then we have our character. So your character is actually modifiable, and they do gain skills and things as the game progresses, rather than just through training. So if you do a lot of game design in your games, you will get better at game design. Viper is Norwegian. Oh, crikey, who's the Spanish one then? I'm fairly sure the Viper is Spanish. Oh, that's an amazing idea, actually. Except we're not in Ostasien. We'd be Ostdeutsch... Allgemeine Ostdeutsch Gesellschaft or something. No, we'll stay with Mordcorp. It's just similar, though that is a fantastic idea, actually. Wait, what was the last thing? Oh, game settings. So, special features. You can be like a specialist at something. Now, I kind of wish that these specializations were just things at the start of the game. Like, you can be Hollow Room Support Specialist or Multi-Threading Support Specialist. I really wasn't sure. In my test game, I became a Cutscene Specialist, but I want something which is like design. Because the thing that's always interested me the most about games is design, but there don't seem to be very many design things. Branching AI, maybe? Like, there's no branching dialogue trees or anything like that. Branching AI, perhaps? Or something a bit earlier to give us an early boost. Like 16-bit color or cutscenes or pre-rendered graphics. Except pre-rendered graphics is not early, that's actually one of the latest. I kind of like the idea of video cutscenes. I'll basically be a bit of a director. Except that's art. I don't want to... No, I'm not an artist. But is it art? As my art teacher used to say. We could just be a save game support expert. I mean, it's going to be something that's in every single game. Time to make ASCII games until the end. They do not do very well. My so, because I know a bunch of you have joined us since we started here, I did a test game yesterday, and I managed the impossible and released a game which was rated at 1%. And it was an ASCII Samurai Demon arcade game. And it was absolutely dreadful. We could do internet multiplayer, actually. That could be an interesting specialization to have. We could then be like the MMO legend. Modding. We're going to be a mod support specialist. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, then specialized genre. So, there are a couple of genres here which appeal to me. RPG, strategy, economic simulation, building, real-time strategy. Whoa, just alt tab there. Real-time strategy. The thing is, strategy here, tactical action against ruthless enemies at the core of the game. You do not need fast reflexes. That does not sound like grand strategy. What would strategy be? I have a feeling that strategy in this is the same as strategy in Game Dev Tycoon, which is why I always did so poorly with strategy. Because in this they've actually got real-time strategy, which I don't think was a genre in Game Dev Tycoon. I mean, we're in Germany, I should probably be an economic simulation specialist. I always think of Civ. This is tactical. Civ is strategic. Strategy would probably be like Heroes of Might and Magic or in fact, that is the only one that I can think of. What else is tactical? Oh, Commandos or Company of Heroes. No, that's RTS. Commandos would be tactical. XCOM is tactical. Strategy would be XCOM. That's probably the best way of... yeah, XCOM. They need grand strategy. Where's my grand strategy? Building, maybe? Type of game you can build cities, parks, etc. in addition to earning money as a core element. That is SimCity right there. In economic sims, money plays a main role in the game. Winning is achieved only with strategic thinking. I think economic simulation is effectively grand strategy for us. Okay, so I'm going to have the absolute minimum in programming because I hate programming. We're going to be a level 3 game design. We'll be a level 2 office work, so we can be a manager. Then we'll have 1 point in work will, so we can just work more. And I think another point in game design. We really are just a game designer / manager. So we're like the visionary in charge of the company. We are the Will Wright or the Sid Meier. So I think both of those were programmers. Sid Meier definitely was. He's like a pure designer. Will Wright probably is. Okay. I like this. We're going to go standard speed. We're going to start in 1980. We're going to get the full thing. We're going to play on normal. Alright. Let's load this. Peter Molyneux. There you go. Or Peter Molyneux. Welcome to Mad Games Tycoon. Initially, many functions are disabled, but with time, more and more features are unlocked. Have fun! So first thing, let's pause. So this is our wondrous garage. So we actually start with a literal car in our garage this time, and a PC, which we can't ever actually use, which is very disappointing. But if we wanted to like buy licenses or engines and stuff like that, we can do that in the head office, which is this. But what we would need to do is start up a development area. So I think we're just going to go simple 3x3 for the moment. Go ahead and stick the development place down, put a door in, and then we need to buy a desk. And I'm going to buy the most... oh. And... ha! No! No, that's... no, no. So, what I just noticed is up here in the top right, you can see what games are really popular and which games are really unpopular. So the really popular ones are drawing games, and the really unpopular games, specifically Viking games. We're doomed. We're doomed. Sid Meier was apparently a pretty good programmer in his day. Yeah, that's why I kind of went, actually, probably wasn't Sid Meier. Tim Schafer is a character in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Tim Schafer is a character dialogue design. Yeah, okay, I can see that. In fact, you know, no, that's still not. Yeah, pure designer. Henrik Farius, CK2 lead developer, maybe? Wiz? Wiz is also a coder. Johan's definitely a coder. Just thinking of examples from Paradox here. I don't know. Anyway, so what I was going to say is, last time in my test game, I just went straight for the most expensive desk because you get a speed bonus, and they're also small. So the downside of these level 2 desks is they're actually absolutely enormous. They're like a full cubicle, while the level 1s and the level 3s are a desk with a chair. They take up less space. But then I noticed that I have 10 times less money now than I did in the tutorial. So in the tutorial I started with 800,000. In this I start with 88,000. In the tutorial I did also have a massive bank loan, which I'm guessing this is not. I think I'm still going to invest in an amazing desk. I mean, this is something that we can just keep on using. I'm going to turn it around and we'll just drop it right there. Close this, and close this. So this is our base now. We've got literally just the computer and the desk. And we're going to drop you in there. Oh, yeah. Chris is a designer. Yeah, Chris King would be a designer, that's true. So yes, I am the Chris King of this company. I thought you meant, Jake. But Jake is a QA designer. I'm definitely not QA. I get bored. Yeah, Chris King. I could see myself as a Chris King. He's an absolute legend. If you ever go to PDXCon, talk to him. He's very interesting. Because Chris is the guy who designed the trade system in EU4. I was talking to him for like an hour or two just about the trade and like his ideas behind it and how he came up with it. It was a fascinating discussion, actually. It was really, really good. So we've basically just placed ourselves in this room, which means that we are now assigned to development. Then we can click on the computer and click on develop a game, and we can choose what we want to make. So this first game is going to be retail. It can be an MMO or free to play later on. We need to unlock those. You can choose what size game this is going to be. So this is going to be a B quality game. It can have up to 5 features, but it doesn't have any extra dev cost. Target audience, I'm going to say all ages. Don't want to target this one against anyone in particular. Then we can choose a topic. Oh, we have much more interesting topics this time. So we can have a bunker game, a cats game, or a medieval game. So when I played this the first time, it was demons, hell, or samurai. Those were my starting 3 options, but we're going to go with the medieval game. Because the more you develop a game, you can see these stars, the more expertise you develop in those topics. So the better your games will become later on if you develop that expertise. So we're going to do a medieval game first, just because I think that's going to feature a lot in the future. So let's get some skill going. And then we can also choose what type of game. So a skill-based game, which is like Asteroids or Tetris. Arcade game, which are arcade games. And then puzzle games. In fact, puzzle is probably Tetris. Skill would be Asteroids. Then arcade would be... Space Invaders would be arcade. Can I see what these are yet? So, in vogue at the moment are puzzle. So puzzle is green, skill is out. So we don't want to do skill, because there'll be less interest in it. And then drawing games are in vogue and the Vikings are out. So we should probably do a puzzle medieval game? No, I think we should do a puzzle cats game. I think that would work a lot better. This would be like, I don't know what it's called, but it's where you have the frog and you have to try and cross a road and you have like the logs and the cars and stuff. It's an ancient game. It was on like the BBC. And we're doing this without an engine because we have not yet developed an engine. We could buy one or we could rent one, license one, but there are none available. Like nobody has developed an engine yet. Frogger, that was it. So what should we call this? This is a cat puzzle game. Catter? Could do this Catter, yes. Kitchener? Kitchener? I like Catter. We'll go with Catter. Kitter. Kitter-catter. Cats play, cats explore. Mad Catter. Oh, I like that. Oh, no. We have a theme, remember. I mean, this does also mean the dead Catter, but hey, it's fine. Instead of Mad Catter, it's the Mord Catter. And then we can choose which platform. So in this, you can actually develop on multiple platforms in the future, but we are just going to go on PC because it's the only platform available at present. Later on, you can also get dev kits, which basically are licenses for more platforms, but there are no other platforms available just yet. It's just the personal computer. This is even before like the Apple II or the Apple Mac. This is old. Mordcat because it gets run over a lot. Yeah. Okay, and then this is actually the part of the game I like the least. I don't like sliding scales. Like, why would story be directly inversely proportional to game length? Surely if you have a good story, it would generally be longer. Or atmosphere versus functions. You can have a very atmospheric game with a lot of functions. I really don't like the sliding scale here. But this is basically the amount of time we spend in the different areas. The next page does it a lot better. But this is a puzzle game, so I'm going to say this is probably gameplay heavy. I'm going to say this is probably game length heavy, because there's no story. I'll say this is function over atmosphere. We'll make this one beginner friendly. And fairly casual. Because there aren't really any hardcore gamers yet. And then this is where we choose how much time we spend on every different category. See, I kind of wish this is how they did this. They have all of these, then you can basically choose what portion of time you spend on each section. But anyway, we're not going to spend a lot of time on graphics. In fact, we'll just drop all of these down to 0. We'll say graphics will spend 10% of the time. Technology, probably the most. No, maybe gameplay. And then sound. And then more gameplay. A bit more tech. And 5% more of each of those. And then we'll go a full 45% on gameplay. We are a designer after all. So this is what we do best. And then we're going to have this in English. And I'm so glad that's a Union Jack and not an American flag. And German. Where did they like puzzle games? That was strategy, adventure, RTS, simulation, fighting, RPG. Might have been Sweden. Let's make this in Swedish as well. Oh, except that costs an extra 5,000. Considering we have very limited funds, let's not do this in Swedish. We're just going to go English and German. Yeah. And then this is where we choose the different features. Because we have no engine, it's literally just going to be ASCII and PC speaker. Okay, we're going to do that. So this is showing us the progress, bugs, tech, sound, graphics, and gameplay. Now we can just start. And unfortunately this banner is right in the middle of it all. But we can actually see us there at the computer going... And while that is happening, I'm going to pour myself some tea. The Swedes like puzzles. Yeah, I thought it was Sweden. And now this is the dangerous bit, because I've left my spoon downstairs. So how on earth am I going to get this tea bag out of the teapot? I think it said when you set up the company. It did, I just don't remember what they were. But I think it was Sweden. I know, I have a pencil here somewhere. Where's that gone? There it is. Let's use that. ID Software has developed something. Oh, damn it. Come back here. This is a puzzle game of its own. Naughty Chicken has released the game Disruptor. Naughty Chicken instead of Naughty Dog. I do like the names that they've come up with here. Haven't had much experience with like the different console names, but the company names are good. Although I must say I am disappointed there's no Paradox alike. So this game has a lot of art assets, 23. Art does seem to get a lot of points even when you're not an artist. It's not very well developed, there's only 8 in tech, 3 in sound, so our sound is gonna suck. Okay, so we have now finished Mordred. Work in the game has been completed. You can release the game now. If you would like to continue working on the game, you can move the release date and bring it to market at a later time. Now, one thing I have realised about this is, one, it's really annoying because you can't move this to see how your game is actually looking. But this is basically if you have stuff like QA or motion sensors or like server rooms or anything like that which need extra setting up time. You don't actually do any further development on the game itself, so we're going to go ahead and release this, and we're going to find a publisher for it, because you cannot self-publish until later on when you've unlocked self-publishing. So this is... what kind of game was this? A puzzle. So we want a company which does a lot of puzzle games, so fan base of puzzle for Kremlins. Kremlins has a good market share, and they will actually pay us $7 per share of the... Yeah, we'll get basically a 7% share is the way I read that. So I'm going to go with Kremlins. I think that's going to be the best choice for us. Wait, was this a puzzle game? Yes, this was a puzzle game. So we got a bit of skill. One in cats, one in personal computers, and one in puzzles. Overview of how many games the same genre, 1. So someone else has done a puzzle game, but that's it. No themes. No one else has done a cat game ever before. Your first game is completed. You can now build the research area. So this is a pop-up I missed the first time around. I thought this was like Game Dev Tycoon, where you just got new stuff over time, which you could then add and develop. But no, you actually need to do research. So we'll come back to that. And this is already better than the worst game I ever released, which was 1%. 41%. This is probably the most highly rated game I've ever made. I think a 43 is game breaking for me. We got 85% graphics with ASCII. That's incredible. The graphics look really good. There isn't much to complain about. The sound is below average. Hopefully they'll do better next time. The controls are lousy. They should really have spent more time on this. The game has strong gameplay weaknesses. They really should have spent more time on this. This game has many weaknesses. Only buy it if you're a hardcore fan. We have no fans, so there's not going to be anyone. But 43% is pretty decent, so we'll take that. And then we're going to pause, because we need to now build a research room, which I completely missed out on last time. We're going to make this just a 3 by 3 again. In fact, no we're not. No we're not. We're going to make this a 4 by 3 right there. With a door here. And then I'm going to click on this room. You, because I actually want you to become a 4 by 4 as well.